Hey, I'm on vacation this week, but I put together a couple of my best features from episodes past, and I hope you enjoy them. And even though I'm away, you can still like, subscribe, and comment, all the good stuff, you know? So thanks. Tonight, we begin at the beginning. What is a LARP, anyway? The word itself stands for live action role playing, but that's a cold definition for something so alive. At its heart, LARP is the art of stepping into a story and letting that story step into you. It's costume theater without an audience, a game without a board, a story told by everyone who shows up to live it. Imagine this. You're standing in a forest at twilight, lanterns glow between the trees, a figure approaches, they draw a letter from a satchel and whisper, "We've been waiting for you." In that moment, you're not yourself. You're the hero, the spy, the diplomat, the dreamer. That's LARP. The roots of LARP stretch back decades, from tabletop role playing like Dungeons and Dragons to historical reenactments to the great improv traditions of theater. Someone, somewhere, said, "What if we didn't just roll the dice? What if we actually stood up and played it out?" From that question grew thousands of worlds, and within those worlds, many types of LARP were born, each with its own philosophy, flavor, and heartbeat. There are the Nordic LARPs, experimental, emotional, sometimes abstract. Here, story is an art form. Players might explore the psychology of memory, or what it means to lose a loved one in a world that never existed. Nordic LARPs favor immersion over spectacle, although there's plenty of room for spectacle too. The result can be profound. A single weekend can change how someone sees the world. Then there are the Blockbuster LARPs, grand cinematic experiences often hosted in castles, space stations, or decommissioned factories. Think of Odysseus in Finland, that takes place on a spaceship, or the lavish wizarding stories of College of Wizardry in Poland. That unfolds within an actual castle. There are hundreds of players, custom built sets, professional lighting and sound. These are living films you can walk through. Then there is Conscience in the United States, which takes place in a deserted western town built in Montana, a sort of Westworld like experience, where you can play an android or a guest all mingling together, all with their own goals, fears, emotions, desires. Closer to home, parlor LARPs or salon LARPs take place in intimate spaces, living rooms, small halls, black box theaters. They're built around dialogue and social intrigue, often exploring relationships, politics, or moral dilemmas. One moment you're a noble at a Regency ball, the next a scientist deciding the fate of a dying world. And of course, there are the campaign LARPs, the long haul epics that unfold over years. Here, characters grow older, alliances shift, and stories evolve across time. These are the living novels of the LARP world. Games like Twin Mask, Dystopia Rising, or Empire UK. They're all legends in their own right. There's also a thriving creative current running through Italy, where the Chaos League creates games that blend cinematic story, design, and social reflection. Titles like Eclipse, Bunker 101, and Miskatonic University are masterpieces of mood and meaning, mixing high production values with deeply human themes. They remind us that LARP can be entertainment, but it also can be art. And that's not all. Around the world, there are boffer games focused on physical combat, black box LARPs performed in minimalist spaces with music and light, and edu-LARPs used in schools and training centers to teach empathy and communication. No matter the form, the principle is the same. You create a character, step into their world, and write the story together. Then we have to deal with immersive experiences. How do they compare and contrast to LARPs? Here's the easiest way to think about it. LARPs and immersive experiences can feel similar because both drop you right into a story world. But in most immersive shows like Sleep No More or Masquerade, currently on Off-Broadway, or the kind of wild art spaces Meow Wolf builds, you're exploring a story that's already set. You can look around a little, interact a little, uncover puzzles, wear masks, tuxedos, but the plot doesn't really change because of you. A LARP is different. In a LARP, like College of Wizardry, or a small or large Nordic game, you're actually stepping into a character and making choices that can push the story in new directions. They both blur the line between audience and performer. But in a LARP, your decisions truly matter. That's the fun of it. At its best, LARP is an experiment in empathy. You learn to think like someone else, to act with their courage or struggle with their doubts. And in doing so, you find parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You stand among strangers who become allies, rivals, friends, even family. And when the game ends, when the last torch goes out and you step back into the ordinary world, something extraordinary remains. It's a shared memory of something that never really happened, yet somehow it did. That's the magic of it. LARP lives in the tension between what is real and what is imagined. Every blade is foam, every castle is plywood, and yet every emotion, every choice, every act of bravery is utterly, achingly real. It is an art form built from participation. You don't watch it, you become it. In Europe, especially the Nordic countries, LARP has evolved into a recognized cultural movement. Performance art, game design, social experiment. Events like College of Wizardry in Poland and Odysseus in Finland have drawn players from across the world, creating stories of magic, loss, and discovery that linger long after the final scene. In the US, community-driven campaigns like Dystopia Rising and Twin Mask offer entire worlds where hundreds of players continue their stories year after year. And it's not all about grand production values. LARPs can also be deeply personal. There are small games about grief, identity, and love. Games that take place in a single room with no props, but words and trust. Games designed to teach empathy, resolve conflict, explore what it means to be human. Some call them black box LARPs, others experiential narratives, but they share the same heartbeat: story, community, play. So when someone asks, what is a LARP? The truest answer might be, it's a world you built together for a little while to discover what matters most when you return home. And now it's time for this week's Adventurer's Dispatch feature, how to prepare for your next LARP. So last week we talked about what a LARP is. And if you haven't watched that episode yet, I really do recommend circling back and giving it a look because it sets a foundation. But this week, we're assuming something important has already happened. You've found a LARP that interests you. Maybe it's a Blockbuster in a castle. Maybe it's a small Nordic chamber game. Maybe it's a campaign weekend 2 states away. You're intrigued, you're excited, and you might be thinking, okay, now what? Let's walk through that together. Step 1, read everything. Yes, everything. And get a journal. I know, it sounds obvious, but it's generally the most skipped step and the one that causes the most stress later. Read the website, read the player guide, read the rules documentation, read the FAQ, read the emails. According to LARPing.org, most problems at events don't come from bad intentions, they come from mismatched expectations. Knowing the tone, themes, safety mechanics, and expectations up front lets you show up ready instead of scrambling. Oh, and get yourself a nice small journal that you can dedicate to the LARP. Put in your questions as you go, important facts about your character, maybe some journaling as the character. Personally, what I like to do is choose goals for each day based on my characteristics and personality. If my character needs to be popular, I might dedicate a page of the journal for the first night to fill out the friends that I made that day. the relationships I've garnered. That way I can concentrate on my goals for the day and not dwell in, okay, what should I do now, tomorrow? My character has already 3 or 4 goals to accomplish. If my character is supposed to get people to help accomplish something specific, I might dedicate a section to people I trust to help one night, and then the next night, people I asked today to help me. I take the time out each night after the LARP to fill these questions out to see where my play might take me on the next day. Step 2. Understand the type of LARP you're attending. Not all LARPs ask the same things of you. A Nordic-style chamber LARP may expect emotional vulnerability and stillness. A Blockbuster LARP may involve physical movement, logistics, and long days. A campaign LARP may require system mastery and gear continuity. Ask yourself, is this combat heavy or story heavy? Indoor or outdoor? Physically demanding or emotionally demanding, or both? Matching your expectations to the game's design is an act of kindness to yourself. Step 3. Build a character you can actually sustain. This one's important. A great character isn't the most complicated one, it's the one you can play all weekend without burning out. As veteran LARP designer and author of Leaving Mundania Inside the Transformative World of Live-Action Role-Playing Games, Lizzie Stark once wrote, a playable character is one whose emotional range fits the container of the game. Give your character clear motivations, flexible goals, and emotional space to react to others. You don't need a 12-page backstory, you need reasons to engage. Another great idea is to take a look at whom the event planners connect your character to in terms of history and story. Try to contact those people. A good way is through the Discord channels that get set up. I know it can be intimidating to talk to strangers about your character at first, but I've done it both ways, speaking pre-game to other LARPers I'll be closely playing with, and not speaking to them until the day of. Most event planners will allow time to foster connections pre-game on that first day, but I have to say, the experiences have been so much richer when I've discussed how characters are connected, how stories intertwined, and where we want to take our characters before the event via Zoom or Discord, as opposed to the 5 or 10 minutes you have to scramble together on site. Step 4. Prep your costume for reality, not photos. Ah yes, the eternal struggle between looking good and being comfortable. Your costume should allow you to move, keep you warm or cool, survive sitting, walking, and eating and working in real weather. Layering is your friend. Good shoes are sacred. And the folks at larpbook.com wisely note, the best costume is the one you forget you're wearing. Step 5. Pack for the game and for your body. Beyond costume, think about you. Bring water, snacks, any medications you might need, varying weather backups, socks, always more socks than you might think you need. Cold games burn calories, hot games drain hydration. Prepared players stay immersed longer. Step 6. Know the safety tools and use them. Modern LARP is built on consent and safety, and that's a good thing. Learn the game's tools, safe words, check-ins, calibration gestures, opt-out mechanics. Using safety tools doesn't break immersion, it protects it. As Nordic LARP scholar Johanna Kolkionen puts it, safety is what allows us to go deeper. Step 7. Arrive open, not perfect. You don't need to be good at LARP to enjoy a LARP. You need to be present, curious, responsive. Some of the best moments happen when plans fall apart. Leave room for surprise. Step 8. Take care of your energy. Once the game begins, rest when you need to. Step out when necessary. Eat actual meals. Burnout helps no one, especially your character. A rested player is a generous player. Step 9. Say yes when it's safe to do so. Within your boundaries, say yes to invitations, scenes, conversations, unexpected turns. LARP rewards engagement. You don't have to chase plot. Often, plot finds you. Step 10. Debrief and let it settle. When the game ends, don't rush the landing. Debrief with friends. Journal if that helps. Take a walk. Strong experiences echo. That's normal. As many communities say, the game may end, but the feelings take their time. Give yourself that time. Along these lines, some things to prepare for before a LARP even begins are what people call LARP drop and LARP bleed. As for LARP drop, after an intense game, especially one with strong emotions or close relationships, it's not unusual to feel low or to have emotional whiplash once it's over and real life kicks back in. Not everyone experiences it, but knowing it's a possibility helps ahead of time. Plan a soft landing. Give yourself a day or two to decompress. Check in with fellow players, and don't schedule anything emotionally heavy immediately afterward. LARP bleed is when emotions from your character linger with you as a player, shading your reactions to situations or other people days after the LARP is finished. Awareness of this can help you see it while it's happening. Instead of something frustrating, it can be a good memory of the character you spent so much time with. Give yourself a break when you see this happening. Tell others who'd understand about it, or meditate on the differences between the way you'd handle situations and the way your character would. Realize that you might actually be going through a little bit of grief at this point. You're going to have to say goodbye, or at least see you later, to someone who's become a good friend, your character. Knowing this ahead of time doesn't make LARP less immersive. It makes it healthier, safer, and more sustainable. So remember, preparing for a LARP isn't about doing everything right. It's about setting yourself up to be present, safe, and open, so the story can meet you halfway. That's it for this week's dispatch. Whether you're packing up for your first event or your 50th, I hope something here helped you step into your next story with confidence and maybe a little less stress. Next week, we'll be back with more headlines, more global news, more immersive worlds, and another deep dive into this strange, wonderful hobby we all seem to love. Until then, farewell and onward into your story.